Good morning and welcome back to the Daily Brief, your number one choice for expat news and updates. The Philippines Bureau of Investigation apprehends overstaying American wanted for drug trafficking in the U.S. The Philippine government prepares for the transport strike this week. Some schools will suspend classes. A speeding BMW crashes into a Phuket shop. A German driver faces charges. Here's a look at today's local exchange rates for the Philippines, Thailand, Singapore, and Vietnam, followed by today's weather report. In our first story, the Bureau of Immigration, BI, has taken an American national into custody for overstaying in the Philippines. The individual is also wanted in the United States for alleged involvement in drug trafficking. BI Commissioner Joel Anthony Viado identified the fugitive as 51-year-old Henry Watkins, also known as Tutu. He was arrested on March 18 at his home in Barangay Ubulay, Polangui, Albay, by the BI's Fugitive Search Unit, FSU. Authorities carried out the operation with the cooperation of U.S. officials, who had requested assistance in locating and apprehending Watkins. He is reportedly on the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration's wanted list due to suspected ties to the Sinaloa drug cartel, a notorious criminal organization in Central America. Watkins is facing charges for large-scale drug trafficking and distributing methamphetamine and heroin. A U.S. district court in northern Iowa issued an arrest warrant for him on February 26. He will be deported for overstaying and being an undesirable foreigner. The Philippines will not be a haven for those involved in illegal drugs, Viado stated. In a separate case, BIFSU agents also arrested an Egyptian national on March 19 in Barangay Igualdad, Naga City, for overstaying. The individual was identified as 37-year-old Bakit Akram Nair Guda. His arrest followed a complaint filed against him for direct assault and oral defamation of a police officer. Additionally, a local resident accused him of violating the Safe Spaces Act due to alleged immoral behavior. Guda is currently in BI custody and will also face deportation, according to the BI. In our next story, the Philippine government prepares for the transport strike this week. Some schools will suspend classes. Malacanang has assured the public that the government is fully prepared for the three-day nationwide jeepney strike that begins today. As a precautionary measure, several schools have decided to suspend in-person classes, opting for alternative learning methods instead. An estimated 100,000 public utility jeepneys, PUJs, are expected to take part in the strike, which is set to last for 3 days. In a report to Malacanang, Transportation Secretary Vince Dizon stated that the government will deploy additional buses on the EDSA bus carousel and increase train capacity on MRT 3, LRT 1, and LRT 2 to accommodate affected commuters. The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, MMDA, will also provide free bus rides in areas impacted by the strike, Dizon added. The transport group Manabila initiated the strike to protest what it claims are misleading figures regarding the implementation of the Public Utility Vehicle Modernization Program, PUVMP. Manabila Chairman Mar Valbuena argued that inaccuracies in consolidation records reported by the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board, LTFRB, are negatively affecting jeepney drivers' livelihoods. Consolidation into a cooperative or corporation is the initial step in the modernization program. Meanwhile, Dizon urged transport groups to engage in discussions rather than resorting to a strike. I appeal to transport groups on behalf of the many Filipinos who struggle with commuting daily. Let's talk first so the new leadership at the Department of Transportation, DOTR, can understand your concerns, Dizon said in Filipino. Valbuena claimed that false data regarding the modernization program has prevented PUV drivers with expired provisional authorities from renewing their registration. He further stated that both President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and the public had been misled by the LTFRB into believing that 86% of PUV operators had already consolidated. However, Dizon clarified that only 43% of jeepney operators had actually been approved for consolidation. The 86% figure reported by the LTFRB only included operators who submitted their requirements, not those who had been officially consolidated, he explained. Due to the ongoing dispute over PUVMP, Valbuena has called for the resignation of LTFRB Chairman Teofilo Guadais III. We have yet to hear from Guadais. He should resign because he does not deserve his position or the public's trust, Valbuena said in a radio interview. He also suggested that the actual percentage of consolidated PUJs may be even lower, as Dizon's reported 43% includes not only jeepneys but also buses and UV express vehicles. The real number of consolidated PUJs might only be around 30 to 35%. This is why we are holding a nationwide transport strike, to expose the deception of the LTFRB, he added. Valbuena argued that the government's refusal to extend the operation of non-consolidated PUJs was based on inaccurate data. As a result, many jeepney drivers have been classified as calorum, illegal operators, leading to fines and apprehensions. Our members are being fined P12,000 per apprehension, with some paying as much as P50,000. One of our members even received a P50,000 fine, and until now, he hasn't been able to pay because we barely make enough to survive, he said. He added that fines for calorum vehicles are set at P50,000 for PUJs, P200,000 for UV express units, and P1 million for buses. Valbuena also questioned why the government is offering free rides for commuters affected by the strike if the LTFRB's claim of an 86% consolidation rate were accurate. Despite their protests, Valbuena said Manabila is open to discussions with Dizon but emphasized that the new transportation secretary must approach the talks with sincerity. In the past, officials have called us to dialogues, but they refused to listen. We are forced to strike because we are hungry, he said. Meanwhile, several schools have announced class suspensions until March 26, including De La Salle University, Manuel L. Quezon University, Philippine College of Criminology, St. Louis and colleges of San Pedro Laguna, Trinity University of Asia, and University of the East. In our last story, Phuket, in the early hours of the morning, a high-speed BMW crashed into a shop in Phuket, causing significant property damage. The incident occurred at around 4 a.m., prompting Deputy Superintendent Police Lieutenant Colonel Prazit Rahab of Chalong Police Station to respond to the scene near Suk San Juan Alley on Visit Road in Rawai. When officers arrived, they found a heavily damaged BMW KI 7600 S-Drive limousine PhD with Phuket license plates. The driver, identified as 24-year-old German national Moritz, was traveling with a passenger, Anton, also 24 and German. Both sustained minor injuries and were taken to Chalong Hospital for medical attention. The crash caused extensive damage to the property in front of the Siam Chai shop. Two parked Isuzu D-Max pickup trucks, owned by the Siam Chai Company, were badly damaged. Additionally, a large directional sign and several storefront signs belonging to the shop were destroyed. According to an initial investigation, the BMW had been traveling at high speed from Suk San Juan Alley, a shortcut from Kata Karen Beach. The driver lost control, launching the vehicle over the road median, smashing through roadside barriers, and colliding with a streetlight pole before finally crashing into the storefront and the parked vehicles. Fortunately, there were no other cars on the road at the time, preventing further accidents. Chalong police brought the driver to the station for alcohol testing. He is now facing charges of reckless driving and will be required to compensate Siam Chai for the damages caused. Thanks for watching the Daily Brief. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss out on future updates. As always, take care and we will see you on the next update.